Hey, just trying to fit in here, and I have another battle. This is against Bestow5000 again. And, he actually said he was going to upload this Ubers battle, but, he ended up not doing it because I didn't have enough Ubers on my Ubers team. I'm talking low because it's dark out and people are sleeping, and I'm too lazy to record this tomorrow, and I'm awake right now. Anyway, I lead with my Tyranitar, and he leads with a Darkrai. He uses Focus Blast, and I know he's going to use Focus Blast or Dark Void, and I go into my Giratina to counter either of those. He uses Nasty Plot, and I go for a Dragon Tail, predicting that. And I'm pretty novice in Ubers, so that's pretty cool that I actually got that right. You'll notice that I'm editing this video in 1.5 speed instead of 2, just because I got tired of talking quickly. And the Tyranitar never got to set up Stealth Rock, which is kind of sad. Anyway, I Dragon Tail him out into his Mewtwo, which kind of stinks for me, and I stay in because I don't know Mewtwo gets, Ice Beam, and I just go for the Will-O-Wisp. I know it's a special attacker, but you know, damage is always good, and Dragon Tail, who cares? I go out into my Kyogre to take another Ice Beam, and this whole time I'm thinking my Kyogre is Scarfed, but it's actually Spexed. So he's going to use Grass Knot on me, and it's not going to take me out, but it's going to put me at really low HP, and I use Water Spout, thinking that I would go first, but I'm actually Spexed and not Scarfed. So that kind of fails for me. But I do get Rain up. And now that Rain is up, I can go out into Ludicolo. Ludicolo is definitely going to outspeed because it has Swift Swim. And it's just going to use Surf and take out the Mewtwo easily. I don't know if I would have switched if I were him, but not much lives against a Ludicolo in the rain. And what's funny here is that he goes into his Kyogre to counter the Ludicolo. Maybe his is Scarfed or something. But regardless, the Ludicolo is faster, and the Ludicolo is actually, like, by Smogon, recommended to be the counter for Kyogre. So that's pretty funny, and I just Grass Knot him and he dies. He goes out into Rayquaza for the airlock, which kind of stinks for me. And if I had known he was going to extreme speed, I probably would have just used Ice Beam, but I didn't know. So I went out into Notori to take his, what I thought would be a Dragon Claw or Outrage or something. And, you know, the Notori doesn't get hurt at all. I predict his switch into a Fire type. Actually, I thought his Rayquaza would use Flamethrower, because, you know, I don't know anything. But he switches out into a Fire type, and I go out into Tyranitar, ruining the rain. I finally get my rocks up, which is pretty good. And his Reshiram is now going to use Focus Blast. And I actually copied this set from Smogon, but at first I didn't understand why, and then I read further, and they had me put 160 EVs in Special Defense, and I was like, oh, that's weird. But it turns out it's so that the Tyranitar can live a Focus Blast from Darkrai, and I guess a Focus Blast from Reshiram as well. And at 16 HP, I just use Superpower, because, you know, one final move, and I don't really have much else to do. I could use Crunch, I guess, but that won't do much. He decides to switch out into his Genesect, save his Reshiram for later, and he just uses Flash Cannon to take me out. Yeah. Oh, and his download got him an attack boost instead of a special attack boost, and I'm pretty sure he did that on purpose. So this must be an offensive Genesect. And I go for a Swords Dance, knowing that I can take any hit he has to offer, except for Explosion. So he explodes, and my Swords Dance is in vain when I could have just Earthquake and killed him. But now I know that thing carries Explosion, so that's pretty good. I go out into Ludicolo because, you know, I'm done with Sandstorm, and the Ludicolo has Rain Dance, so I'm hoping I can live for like one turn and get a rain dance up. But, nope. He goes out into his Reshiram and uses Blue Flame, or whatever that was. Pretty cool move. And, now he's gonna die to Sandstorm in 2 turns. Or Life Orb, or... yeah, Sandstorm in 2 turns. He uses Blue Flyer, and it misses, but it doesn't really matter because I use Rest anyway, and the Blue Flyer was definitely not going to kill me, because Giratina is kind of a mixed wall. The Reshiram almost dies to Sandstorm. Like I said earlier, it was a 3-hit KO by Sandstorm. And I have the Giratina use Dragon Tail instead of Sleep Talk here, just because I don't want to waste a Sleep Talk. And there's nothing much more, like, Sandstorm's going to kill it, so I don't have to waste any PP in case it comes down to some kind of stall war. That's pretty nice recording in 1.5. I actually have time to breathe. He goes into his Darkrai, which is funny because I used my Giratina against his Darkrai. Now he's using his Darkrai against my Giratina. And I get to use Dragon Tail. This is the first time he's seen the Sleep Talk. I guess that's why he went into Darkrai, because he didn't think I had it. But I do have it. And Dragon Tail's nasty plot away. And now he goes into his other remaining Pokemon, Rayquaza. And that's just going to use Dragon Claw. And it gets a crit. And I'm pretty sure I could have lived 1 and used either Dragon Tail or Will-O-Wisp, and both of them would have been pretty good against that Rayquaza. But, you know, whatever. So I'm down to my last Pokemon, and he's down to his last 2. And my last is a Natore. He uses Earthquake on the Natore, and that doesn't do anything at all. And I just go for the Gyro Ball to kill it. And that works. Now we're both down to our last Pokemon. And so it's my Natore versus his Darkrai. And he goes for the Dark Void here. And I use Gyro Ball and win. And that's pretty good, because if he had Dark Voided me, I would have been asleep, and the Sandstorm wouldn't have killed him because of leftovers. Good game, Bestow.